All right, so a little bit of history on Power Virtual Agents first. So this Power Virtual Agents, as a lot of people know that it's a part of Power Platform. It was not a part of Power Platform when it was introduced. So it was a Dynamics virtual agent for customer service, something like that. So then Microsoft changed their whole idea of including this as a part of Power Platform, and I think it was a very good idea because everything was consolidating in the Power Platform. So yeah, so this is just a brief history when the Dynamics virtual agents came up. So I was very excited about that because I was primarily working on Dynamics and business applications, and it was a really great win. However, since it was very starting point, so that was not mature enough for customers. Anyway, let's get started. So I'll be talking about the unusual stuff with Power Virtual Agents, not the very usual stuff with Power Virtual Agent. What does it mean? That I'll be going in detail a little bit with Power Virtual Agents, but more about bot framework skills and the latest capabilities with AI Builder, which has been released as a part of April release wave. The reason for choosing this topic is because I've seen a lot of use cases with AI Builder, specifically on the other parts of the models, which are text featureization, object detection, and business card readers and all that. But I have not seen recent implementation of AI Builder prediction model. So we'll be discussing about that. Secondly, bot framework skills. Very few people have worked on it. And I know that it's a very new topic. It's a very challenging topic. So now Microsoft has released it as GA. So it has improved a lot. Otherwise, we were having a lot of issues. So, and yes, it's also good that I will get more time today because me and David were there in ANZ AI Happy Hour yesterday, and we were really short of time. So we had 20 minutes to explain everything, and which I could not, of course. And so definitely I'll get more time over here and I'll be explaining in detail. Little bit about me, as JK has already described. I am a Microsoft MVP based in Sydney. So if you are in Sydney, and if you like Azure AI stuff, so I also co-organize Azure Sydney user group. So we talk about everything related to Azure, whether it is AI or dev stuff or IT ops, anything like that. I am also one of the co-founders of Bot Framework community, and we work very closely with Bot Framework product team. So if you want to contribute to this project, we work closely in terms of developing the tools for developers. So middlewares and adapters and dialogues and other stuff. Like, just to give you a basic example, that Google Assistant does not have a out-of-the-box support for bot framework. So we have built a custom adapter as a part of Bot Builder community. So you can now build Google bots, Google Assistant bots using bot framework as well. So things like that. In agenda, we will be discussing about Microsoft conversational AI. Expect that what Power Virtual Agents, what are the new features which have recently released in Power Virtual Agents. Then we'll discuss about the real-time prediction with Power Virtual Agent, as I discussed about the AI Builder part. And lastly, we'll discuss about the bot framework skills. So bots are the new apps. It was said by Mr. Satya in one of the keynotes in Microsoft Build. And the reason for I included this quote is a lot of people used to say that bots are just, it's a hoax, it's nothing, not going to work, and it's just a buzzword. Yes, it's a buzzword, but the hype is not big, like it's not just a hype. People are implementing these solutions into their businesses. So, and the reason for this is if you notice all of these icons, you can easily relate to the applications people are using in day-to-day lives, either for personal or professional purposes. The good part is Power Virtual Agents. They look very simple, but they are very powerful, and they support all of these channels which are listed over here. So some of the folks may get very surprised that a couple of channels which are even not included in that are also supported, as I mentioned about Google Assistant and all that. So you can do wonderful stuff with that, but I don't want to get into that much of deeper integration part right now. But if you have got any questions, please feel free to ask. Just to include some of the other statistics that Gartner has said that the bot or agent interfaces are a top third digital trend for the market. The second one is Google Trends. I have just taken a screenshot of a few, I think 1 month or 2 months back, that people in New Zealand and Australia are looking for chatbots, are searching for chatbots a lot. I think more than anyone in the world. So yeah, bots are undoubtedly assets to digital transformation. So these are the use cases, couple of use cases which have seen bots implementation, and especially for in-house productivity as well. We have seen a lot of bots, such as booking a meeting room, checking out the coffee machine, whether it's full or not. So things like that. And of course, for customer onboarding and other stuff. So Power Virtual Agents, as I have discussed earlier, so the basic principle, basic objective for Power Virtual Agent was to empower people who are closest to customers, subject matter experts or customer support specialists. They were the main objective, and that's why it was built in this way, that you don't need a prior developer knowledge or data science expertise or machine learning expertise to develop all of these conversational experiences. In addition to this, it provides you a capability to monitor your performance real time with the Power BI dashboards built into that. Couple of latest features which have been introduced. So it supports multi-language support. It has got multi-language. It supports custom canvas as well. So you can see that you can tailor the experience of Power Virtual Agent. It was not possible earlier. So the team has worked on it and they have introduced this. Then we have got fallback intent. It means that if the customer has not, if the bot has not recognized anything, it will be falling back to that particular intent, and then you can configure your bot accordingly. Then we have got proactive slot filling. It means that if I am asking if bot is expecting an entity and that entity has been provided, that input has been provided as a part of utterance, then the bot skips that question and it directly takes you to the next question. So it's really a very, very good feature. Then we also have got some markdown support. Markdown support is there with a couple of features, but it's not 100% markdown support. I'll show you what do I mean by that. Then we have got suggested topics like Q&A maker. So if you have got a link, you can add that as over here for your website's fact link, and that will generate the topics automatically, and then you can include whatever you want. This is something Composer skills was something that there is another tool, Microsoft Bot Framework Composer. If anyone has explored this, if you have not explored this bit, you can check out my blog. I've written a very detailed blog post on Bot Framework Composer. So in future, you will be able to build the skills with the Composer and embed in Power Virtual Agents. So it will be low code and no code experience. No pro code experience will be required later on. So this was showcased in Microsoft Build. The exact date is unknown, but it will be here soon, I think. Then we have got co-authoring capability. It means that you can also share your bots, and you can, earlier there was no co-authoring capability. So if I have created a bot, I could not share it with anyone. And only I was the person, I had to work solely on that. So now you can also share these bots. So let's talk about the no-code AI. So as I've discussed that AI Builder offers a lot of stuff, but prediction model is something which is new, which is not new, but it has not been discussed a lot. So that's why I have included this in my talk today. What it does, it solves binary classification. Binary classification as in it solves whether a person is eligible or not, whether he or she will buy that subscription or not, whether they will pay on time or not. So it's A and B kind of a problem. Classification problems are generally true or false problems. Then it also solves regression problem. So regression as in how many, what is the price, how much the customer will be able to spend. And you don't need any specialized data science expertise or machine learning expertise. So what does it mean? So, you know, JK was mentioning about ML.NET. For ML.NET, you still need to have some knowledge of pro code skills. You need to know what is C#. For this, you don't need to know anything. You just need to know basic statistics, and you will be able to come out with the or you will be able to solve basic classification problems and regression problems. So interestingly, regression bit has not been explored by a lot of people yet as in production environment, but I've seen it working, and I've tried myself as well. It is working very well. So the good part is AI Builder prediction model detects itself whether it is a classification problem or a regression problem, and then it goes like this. So it depends upon the label of the data, where whatever you are providing. If the label as in the end result is true or false kind of result, then it will generally work on binary classification, otherwise regression. So as I said, April 2020 release has brought this change. Earlier, AI Builder used to only solve classification problem, and it never used to return real-time results. So in order to get the results, you need to wait. You had to wait 24 hours. So otherwise, you had to train the model again and again. So it was a very expensive operation. But yes, they have brought change. So the process is very simple. It's like a normal or classical machine learning process. You have to prepare data, then you have to create a prediction model, you train it, and then you continuously evaluate it. So this is very basic, and we'll talk about that. We'll see how can you do that. Then we have got bot framework skills. So bot framework skills, everybody who has worked on Power Virtual Agents must have seen this option. So what's that? So bot framework skill is basically a pluggable bot. So what does it mean? It means that you have a bot, and that can also act as a separate bot for another bot. So let's say you have a HR bot, and you have got help desk bot, and your company organization has got another unified bot. So you can add those bots to your company bots, and that can act as a unified experience for the company people or for the employees and things like that. So as I said, that this skill can be a separate bot. So HR bot can act as a HR bot as well, and it can be integrated to another bot. So this is called skill, and you don't need very hi-fi or different, very alienated concepts to learn this. It's very simple. You just need a basic configuration, and it will be enabled. Like your bot can be enabled as a skill. Skill consumer, on the other hand, is the bot that consumes the skill. So in generally speaking, this is difficult uh, to implement than bot framework skill. I'll explain this, but skill consumer can be considered as power virtual agents, so or a root bot. So the bot which is user facing bot, then that is consuming a skill is called a skill consumer. The good part of this is it is language independent, so the language interoperability is there. So if you have created a skill in TypeScript or in Python, you can easily integrate that skill in your C# bot or Power Virtual Agents or bot framework bot. And how it is made possible is because of this. So it is made possible because of skills manifest. Manifest is just a JSON file. It's a brain basically. So which keeps the metadata of that skill. So metadata, regardless of the skills language, whether it is developed in Python, it is developed in C#, TypeScript, or any other tool, whichever supports bot framework skills, will have this kind of metadata. So you can just add this, take this skill manifest and add it to your bot. In our case, it was Power Virtual Agent. I've just added it over there, and we were able to add that bot as a skill into our Power Virtual Agent. Then the question comes up, how can I build a skill? So there are generally two ways now. Earlier, there was just one way before Build 2020. So the first way is ProCode, and within ProCode, we have got three approaches. The first approach is you get the basic Visual Studio Eco bot template, and that bot template you can turn them into skill using it, make like from the scratch. So this is creating the skill from scratch. I've done that and I'll show you in my demo. Second is virtual assistant skill templates. So it has got the boilerplate code and all that. Everything is ready. If you want to, in fact, it's not just a boilerplate. It has got everything ready. It's a ready to use skill template. However, it consumes some of the Azure resources, so that's why I don't use that. But if you want to use, like if you want to get started very quickly, you can use that. Skill CLI, I've not played a lot with that, but this is also an option. Then comes to another interesting part, low code bot framework composer skill. So bot framework composer, this utility, this tool of creating fantastic bots experience was made generally available in Ignite last year, I think. Yes. And this year, they have made the skills as generally available as well. And interestingly, you can create bot skills with the bot framework composer as well. Team is working on that. However, I got a chance to work with that, so I have done a lot of your work, which includes raising up some bugs, reporting some of the basic stuff with the product team, interacting with them, making them happen. And their team is very, very fast. They used to release the fixes within 24 hours. So if it is really critical issue, then it gets resolved very quickly. And if it is something that needs some discussion within the teams, because bot framework team, SDK team, this is my understanding, but what I've seen, this bot framework SDK team is different than the composer team. So that's why they interact with each other. If you notice on GitHub, so I raised something on GitHub on bot framework composer repo, and it went to the then SDK team. So that's why there are a couple of things that take time, but yes, I've seen that fixes coming in 24 hours. This is fantastic. And I'm also using one of those builds, which are nightly builds. So yeah, they release every night, the releases. Now let's talk about demo part. So if you think that I'm going very fast in something, or if you don't understand, you can please stop me right away, and I'll be happy to explain you. All right, so let's get started. So we'll start with our Power Virtual Agents, basic stuff. So this is my Power Virtual Agent bot. As a lot of people are aware of what Power Virtual Agents are. So these are just topics I'll just show you quickly. So I've got two topics, open account and check balance. So in my open account topic, I have defined the logic of onboarding a customer. So what onboarding a customer means that I'm just signing up a customer. I'm a bank. So I am onboarding a customer with just 4 questions and answers. And once the customer is onboarded, I'm just asking a couple of more questions. Then we have got a, so I will go into that detail. Let's get into the demo first, I think, then I'll explain you. So now, what should I name it, JK? I've already done your included your name already. So I don't think that, anyway,
that's fine.
It's William and JK. So, and the good part is, I'll just tell you that it extract the entities itself. So if I'm writing the whole sentence, it will just extract the mobile number out of it. So it won't extract everything. So this is my customer has been created, a very basic use case. What is it doing? That it is calling Power Power Automate behind the scenes. So I'm just asking, this is my flow, this is my very basic flow. After 4 questions, I'm providing, and I'm calling Power Virtual Agents and Power Automate, and it is creating a user. This is my basic flow. It takes 4 inputs, creates a user in my dynamics. So this is my dynamics. So if you see that this user has been created, right? And you can see that I have provided a whole sentence, but it has given me just a mobile number. So it's cool. Now, next part is bank ask that we are currently offering some loans. Do you want to be a part of it? So I will say, yes, I want to be a part of it. So we'll get JK a loan. And let's say JK wants, JK's annual income is like, I think 3 million. Oh no, 300. No, I was about 3 million. Yeah. So, and JK's partner earns nearly the same, right? And JK has no dependents. So, and how much, JK? How much do you want? Do you want this much amount of loan? Is it okay? Is it okay for you?
I was just suggesting $2, but yeah, that sounds good as well.
Yeah. Okay. So, and we will be able to see JK's credit history. JK is very, JK is not a fraudy person. So yeah. But so JK wants it for 36 months, let's say. Now, what is going on behind the scenes? This whole information is going to AI Builder, and AI Builder is calculating based upon the historical data which we have provided. And on the basis of that, it has returned some of the response. So as you remember, I was discussing about the markdown text support. So Power Virtual Agent support these kind of markdown. So this is formatted, and this little markdown support is over there. However, coming to the point that the AI builder was running behind the scene, like it had a model created and it just ran this equation on that model, and it has given me a success message that yes, JK is capable of getting blown. So this was my data, which I downloaded it. I don't remember from somewhere, and I just modified this according to my needs. So it had just 600 something records. I'll tell you how to do that, but this is just to tell you that. Okay, now how did I do this? So I just copied, I just created a couple of more questions, as you can see, and I'm calling another Power Automate flow. This is my, this is my Power Automate flow. So what I'm doing is, after getting this whole data, I'm calling a predict function. Can it be done without Power Automate? The answer is yes. Then why did I not do that? It can be done implicitly without using Power Automate, and it could be done. But the reason why I used this, because I had to install, this is my trial instance, and I had to install a lot of language packs because I'm in Australian region. And that's why I did not do that. I did not want to get myself into this trouble. So that's why I use this. So this is my basic prediction mechanism. And how did I, so I don't have slides anymore now. I have just left with them demo. That's it, all demo.
Okay, good, awesome. Then maybe we can start recording and switch back to you.
Since we are 8 or 9 or 10 soon, so if anyone wants to ask anything, any questions, so far what we have discussed, you can please ask me, no issues, or just raise it to the questions, and I think Sarat will ask me. So feel free to please interact. I will share my screen. Can I share my screen? Yes. No. Host disabled. Sorry.
Yeah, Saraf, can you just give permission, Arafat?
Yeah, that's me. Yeah, try now.
Okay.
Yeah.
Should be able to share now.
Okay. Yes. I'm able to share. So you can see this. So we were discussing about. I was here. Let me go back. So we talked about that, how this has come, this result has come, and I was talking to you about that. I was using predict function of AI builder, and I have used it in my flow in fact. So the reason for this is, as I had to install the language pack, which I did not want. Otherwise, you could, without using the flow, you could have the same results as I'm going to show you now. So you see that this is my, these are the customers, or these are the people who have been labeled as eligible or not eligible based upon their criteria. So we'll go with the JK one first, and I'll go with the no as well. So I'll show you the difference. So this is basic Dynamics 365 UI. It has got model-driven apps. This is the details which we have provided. So as you may notice that I provided 3 million, but it had turned into 3,000 because my model, my data was based upon that. So the good part, or the interesting part, is it has given me a prediction, and it has also shown me that what made it said yes. So what actually drive this output? So you can see the output which was driven was what was the influential factor. The influential factor for this result was the credit history, and the second influential factor was the co-applicant income, and the third one is applicant income. So if you have got these factors in your data, you will generally return as a yes, because more than 70% is a yes prediction over here. So if you go to something like no, and if you go over here, you can see that the loan tenure was very upset. That's why it could not get anything like this. So resident area also. So if you are living in, like my model is trained for the persons who are living in urban areas, they are getting loans. So of course it can have a lot of bias and all that, but this, my motive or my point was just to tell you about how it works actually, rather than the white labeling or other stuff. So this was my whole point of showing you that you can solve regression and classification problems with AI Builder as well. Basic problems for sure, definitely. Now, coming to the other bit of my demo. So this was the basic AI Builder as I discussed. So now if I discuss this bot, I want to check my balance. Now, before I ask, I'll show you what are those two topics. So this was my topic, which was handling the open account and loan stuff as I discussed. This part, check balance, it does not have anything, but it is just calling this action. So what is this action? This action is the skill. Where this skill is added, this skill is added over here, right? So I have added this skill. Now, how did I add this skill? I went over here and I provided just the skill manifest URL. And manifest URL, I think I've lost it somewhere, so I'll open it again. So this is my skill, which is hosted on my Azure account. So this is my skill hosted. I copied this, I came over here and I just put it over here and it gave me that. If I click it and add it again, it will say that you have already added this skill, so you don't need to add it again and again. But yes, this was my point. So the skill is here. Now, if I go and ask that I want to check my balance, so what it will do, it will go to that topic, and from that topic it is calling my skill. So that skill bot is hosted on Azure and it is retrieving my account balance. Let's say if I have provided my whatever is required. So now it has given me an adaptive card experience, which is not a native experience in PVA right now. So you can work with adaptive cards within Power Virtual Agents as well, using bot framework. The out-of-the-box support is very, very near. I also don't know the exact date, but yes, it was supposed to be released during June as per their release notes, but I think it's near. So now, again, if I say so it will go and check the weather, and it is a skill communicating with the skill. So I'm not like, it is a skill communicating with the skill. It means that it does not hand off to Power Virtual Agent yet. So it is still in touch with the skill. So if I write end, because this is how I have configured my skill, then it will just come back and to PVA and whatever I want to say. Like if I say, hey, so it will just say yes. It will just give me a response of Power Virtual Agent rather than skill response. So now this was the basic skill experience. How did I do that? So as I discussed that there are 3 basic ways to create skills. So this is my skill, which is this. All of you can see my code. So this is my general basic bot, and what it took me to turn into skill was just this manifest, which I have written over here. This app JSON, and my manifest, which is here. So with the skill adapter handler, so very basic stuff. Like you just have to change at a few places and you will be able to create your skills. So the same skill is hosted on Azure. So I'll just try to give you an experience over here with the bot framework bot as well. So just to give you an example that this skill is not just for PVA. Damn.
I've got a quick question for you.
Yes, yes,
somebody
please.
was raised it in chat.
Yes.
Can you call Azure Functions or Azure Automation as part of this process?
Yes, 100%. From bot framework skill, you can call anything because it's just a bot. So you can call Azure Functions, and I'll show you. I won't be calling Azure Function, but I'll show you an easy way to do that just in a few minutes. So yeah. So I think my skill is working. Then this is the skill consumer, right? So in our earlier case, it was the PVA, Power Virtual Agent. So this one is basically a bot framework bot, which is acting as a consumer bot. So in my opinion, it took me a lot of time to configure this and to figure it out that how does it work. But skill consumer skill itself was very simple. So I'll just use bot framework emulator to emulate this experience, and I'll show you that how it works. So there is an update which has already arrived, but I'm not updating it just because I wanted to give you a demo and I was scared. Anyway, so this is my normal bot consumer. So if I say hi or something, and it will say just ask me balance because I don't know anything. So if I ask balance, it will go and connect with that skill. Oh my God. So it has given, okay. So it has given me some error. I think the reason for this is it is still not executing. Yes, it is not. So what it does, it usually gives me the same experience as it is because I've got everything defined over here that if I ask weather, it will give me a Sydney weather. So it's a bit hard-coded stuff, but just to give you an idea that if I write and it will end the script. So if anyone wants to know that how I build that, I've already uploaded this on my GitHub. I'll share the URL, but this is very basic skill. Now, another part, another aspect of building skills. So this is Composer. So bot framework Composer, as I discussed, that it is another cool way of building bots. So I will show you here. So this is I think it has already opened. So yes, this is my bot framework Composer. So bot framework Composer is another tool to build the bots, like you have seen this, or you have seen Power Virtual Agent. So bot framework Composer is already available free of cost, open source. You can just download it. You can download the code version, which is being executed over here, or the Electron app as in this desktop standalone app. So both of the versions are running on my screen right now, and I'm going to show you a little experience of how do they look like. So this is my whole bot, flight tracking bot, which I've already built. So if you want to know that how did I build, so you can just write flight tracker bot Composer or something like that on Google, and I'm sure that you will find a lot of results. So this is all by me. So you can see, you can learn about that, how I build that. So since I've already built that, I'll just execute this, and it is running language understanding models behind that and everything. So, and I'm not sure who asked this question about Azure Functions, but this is the way I was calling Azure Functions through bot framework Composer. So you see this is the HTTP request. My function was hosted locally, and I was calling that function. So this was an Azure function URL, and I don't have it running right now because my use case is different to show you, but this is the whole experience which was there. So if I ask my bot that I want to track a flight, and this will say that, okay, I did not get any number, flight number, so please provide me a flight number. And I will say, this is my flight number. So it will give me an adaptive card experience. And this is all adaptive card. If you are not aware of that, what adaptive cards are, I would suggest you to run, to go over here, adaptivecards.io. It's a new way to deliver UI. It's a JSON payload at the back, on the back end, and it supports all of these environments. So the Windows notifications, on Toast notifications and all that. So coming back over here, now this is done all in my Composer bot, in whole my Composer bot. But I wanted to call a skill from this. So I don't have a flight booking bot. So this bot, flight booking, whenever the flight booking intent is detected that I want to work with flight booking, I want to book a flight, I don't have a flight booking bot over here. So where is that? So I have written a separate bot, AMA bookings, let's say, and it books my flight. So this is my flight booking bot. It is not doing anything fancy. It's just sending a message that booking flight from the booking flight dialog from skill. So just to show you that it is being called. So what I've done is I've exposed this bot as a skill. So you can also make skills, as I said, from bot framework composer. So this is my manifest, right? This is how I've configured this, my skill bot framework bot, and how I'm consuming it. I just went over here, click on this plus icon, and from accessing the external resources, I can connect to a skill. And calling the function is simple. I can call any HTTP request. So function can be called from here as well. And I can also connect to the Q&A maker and other stuff as well. So since it is already connected, so I will, if I had to write that I want to book a flight, so what it is going to do, it is going to call the another bot. So it has called another bot, this bot from my bot framework bot, from my bot framework composer airline bot, and it has given me this message. So just to give you a bot framework from, and if I restart it, let's say, just to give you an example, so it should work. So as soon as it gives me a message that yes, it is ready to work, if I ask the same question, it should work. So yeah, this is just to give you an example that you have got plenty of tools to develop the skills, and it is one of the new features of bot framework. So you can do that. So now as you can see that it has changed the message because I've changed the message over here. So of course it requires some details that how the message is changing and all that. I've defined everything in my previous post, so you can read that, or if you have got any specific questions, please feel free to ask. That's it from my end, as in from the demo part. These are a couple of resources which I highly recommend you to read if you are interested in building bots. And that's it from my end. If you have got any questions, please let me know.